It all started with a parking spot. Not just any parking spot, mind you, but the one closest to the bakery. The perfect spot, the kind you dream about after a long, stressful week. A week where the dog ate your favorite slippers, your boss yelled about spreadsheets, and the milk curdled in the fridge. This parking spot, this tiny rectangle of asphalt, represented a moment of peace, a small victory in a chaotic world. And then she saw it. Another car, a beat-up sedan with a dented bumper slowly backing into it. Her shoulders tensed, a familiar knot tightening in her stomach. This was it, the final straw. Her peaceful vision of buttery croissants and a quiet coffee shattered. The woman, let's call her Deborah, wasn't naturally angry. Oh no, she was a perfectly pleasant person, usually. A successful businesswoman known for her calm demeanor and sharp wit. But today was different. Today, the relentless pressure of daily life had reached a breaking point. The audacity of this other driver, this blatant disregard for the unspoken rules of parking lot etiquette, ignited a fire within her. Years of suppressed frustration, of minor inconveniences and petty annoyances all boiled down to this one, seemingly insignificant parking spot. She felt a primal urge, a surge of righteous indignation. The other car, the offender, was already backing out. Deborah's initial shock gave way to a frustrated growl. The opportunity for quiet contemplation, for a moment of serene indulgence, was slipping away. She watched as the car pulled away, only to discover that the spot was not perfectly aligned with her vehicle. It was slightly crooked, further fueling the fire in her belly. The injustice of it all. Her perfectly planned afternoon, now threatened by a parking lot mishap. It's hard to pinpoint what set her off. Whether it was the slightly crooked parking, the general unfairness of life, or perhaps the low-fat yogurt she skipped for breakfast. The thought of letting this go, of quietly accepting this parking injustice, was unthinkable. Deborah's mind raced. She was a woman of action, a problem solver, and this parking situation was a problem that demanded immediate resolution. She wouldn't let this go unaddressed. She needed to make sure this never happened again. The world needed to know. She needed to call someone, anyone. Her phone, a weapon of immediate justice, was already in her hand. The number started forming, the digits appearing on the screen as if guided by an invisible hand. Her fingers trembled slightly, not from fear, but from the sheer intensity of the moment. The call wouldn't be about the parking itself. It was about principle, about order, about maintaining the delicate balance of the universe, which had clearly been upset by the other driver's parking skills or lack thereof. She dialed, a deep breath escaping her lips, a sigh of righteous determination. A silent audience had gathered. Other shoppers, perhaps drawn by the intensity of her actions, watched from a respectful distance. Some were sympathetic, understanding the frustration of a poorly parked car. Others, however, were subtly amused, captivated by the unfolding drama. The parking lot, usually a scene of mundane routine, had become a stage, and Deborah was the star of an unexpected performance. The air crackled with unspoken tension, a silent, collective gasp when Deborah's phone call was answered. Her voice, usually measured and controlled, now carried an edge of desperation and almost theatrical intensity. She spoke with the authority of someone accustomed to being heard, someone who expected compliance. The descriptions of the terrible injustice, the slight misalignment, the potential safety hazard, it was all delivered with precise detail. The casual observer might have missed the absurdity of it all, but the message was clear. This was not a simple parking issue, but a matter of fundamental importance. The return of the car's owner created a dramatic shift in the narrative. This was no longer a one-sided grievance, but a potential confrontation. The other driver, a young, timid woman with a bewildered expression, stumbled upon the scene of unfolding fury. She hadn't realized the severity of her parking infraction. Deborah, fueled by adrenaline and righteous anger, launched into another round of complaints. A tense standoff, a battle over parking space etiquette that went far beyond the mundane. What happened next remains somewhat unclear, but the tension eventually eased, a reconciliation of sorts occurred. Maybe a shared sigh of relief, or perhaps a quiet agreement to let the entire matter slip away into the annals of parking lot history. But what remains indelible is the emotional energy, the raw human experience of it all. Deborah drove away, leaving behind the scene of the parking lot drama. The croissants would have to wait, the morning's stressful events now overshadowed by the intensity of this parking spot saga. Perhaps she learned something, perhaps not. But the incident served as a reminder that even the smallest of life's annoyances can trigger unexpected emotional storms, leaving us questioning our own reactions and the surprising drama that unfolds in the seemingly mundane spaces of everyday life.